Beginning, the proposal that shouldn't have happened. I wasn't supposed to be in that room. The Interstellar Unity Convocation was designed for presidents, admirals, corporate magnates, and alien dignitaries whose lifespans exceeded human recorded history. It was not designed for infrastructure engineers from the outskirts of Nairobi. Yet there I was. My name is Adrian Hale, and 3 months before that day, I had fixed a failing atmospheric processor in Earth's orbital ring. That repair prevented a cascade failure that would have cost billions. Apparently, that qualified me as a symbol of human ingenuity. So the United Earth Council dressed me in formal attire, handed me a translation implant, and told me to smile. The hall was magnificent, a structure grown rather than built, its ceiling arching in luminous crystalline veins that pulse softly with bioluminescent light. Representatives from dozens of species stood in designated clusters. Some towered over humans. Some barely reached my knee. Some existed partially out of phase with visible reality. Humanity was still the youngest member of the Galactic Accord. Curious, fragile, and proven. The convocation's purpose was simple: to discuss trade routes, defense alliances, and genetic compatibility laws. I remember thinking that last topic sounded uncomfortable. Then the doors opened. The sound wasn't loud, but the silence that followed was absolute. She entered alone.
Tall, poised,
radiating controlled power. Her species, the Varelians, were known for two things: extraordinary longevity and ruthless precision in war. They had once dismantled a pirate confederation in less than a month. Her skin shimmered faintly, like polished silver glass beneath starlight. Dark hair flowed down her back in a cascade that seemed to move independently, as if responding to unseen currents. And her eyes, deep violet with star-like flecks, scanned the chamber calmly. Ambassador Seralith. Even I knew her name. She was the Varelian High Envoy. She walked past presidents, past admirals, past alien warlords, and stopped in front of me. My heart nearly stopped. She studied my face with unsettling focus. The translator in my ear buzzed softly. Then she spoke not through the implant, but directly in fluent English. "Do you know why I want you to be my husband, human?" The room froze. The United Earth Council choked collectively. I blinked. What? Her voice remained calm. "I have selected you." Laughter did not follow. Gasps did. I felt heat flood my face. This is a diplomatic joke, right? It is not. Every camera in the chamber swung toward us. A human aide whispered urgently into his wrist console. I glanced around, hoping someone would explain. No one did. Seralith continued, her tone serene and matter-of-fact. "Under Varelian continuity law, I am required to form a genetic and political union within the next standard cycle." I swallowed. "With me?" "Yes. But you don't know me." Her gaze sharpened slightly. "I know more than you realize." That sentence sent a strange chill through me. The reason. The convocation dissolved into controlled chaos. Earth's diplomats demanded clarification. The Varelian delegation remained eerily calm. Within minutes, I was escorted, alongside Ambassador Seralith, into a private negotiation chamber suspended above the hall. The door sealed behind us. For the first time since she'd entered, she looked almost contemplative. "This is insane," I muttered. "It is efficient," she corrected. I paced the room. "You're an interstellar envoy from one of the most advanced species in the galaxy. I fix orbital machinery." "You stabilized Earth's atmospheric ring with limited resources," she replied. "You refused evacuation during the cascade failure." "That was my job." "You stayed after your superiors withdrew." I stopped pacing. "How do you know that?" Her eyes glimmered faintly. We study potential allies carefully. That still didn't explain marriage. Why not marry someone from your own species? I demanded. Her expression changed subtly, a faint shadow crossing her features. Varelian birth rates have declined for 6 generations, she said quietly. Genetic stagnation threatens long-term viability. The weight of that statement settled heavily. You want hybrid offspring? Yes. And you think I'm suitable because I fixed a machine? She stepped closer.
No.
Because you resisted fear. That's not a genetic trait. It is partially neurological. Humans display unusually adaptive stress responses. Emotional bonding under crisis enhances cognitive integration. She spoke like a scientist presenting data. You're treating this like a research project, I said. Her gaze locked onto mine. Do you believe marriage among your own kind is purely emotional? I hesitated. Point taken. But you still haven't answered the real question, I said. Why me? A long pause. Then she reached into the air and activated a holographic projection. The room filled with images, not of space battles, not of diplomatic charts, but of me. Footage from orbital cameras, security feeds, moments I didn't know had been recorded. One clip showed me laughing with technicians after a grueling repair shift. Another showed me sitting alone, staring at Earth through reinforced glass. You requested reassignment to remain on the ring, she said softly. I didn't want the promotion, I replied defensively. I like fixing things. You value stability over status. So, she deactivated the images. So, do I. For the first time, her voice lacked its clinical tone. My species selects partners based on genetic strength and political advantage, she said. I chose differently.
That startled me.
Why? Her answer came slowly. Because I am tired of strategic marriages. Silence filled the chamber. You're serious, I said. Yes. And if I refuse? She did not hesitate. Then I will select another candidate. The response stung more than I expected. But I would prefer you. I laughed awkwardly. That's flattering, I guess. It is not flattery. Her gaze softened, barely perceptible, but real. I observed your species for 5 years, she admitted. Humans form attachments despite risk. You build families in uncertainty. That's called survival. It is called courage. The word lingered between us. I leaned against the wall. You don't even know if we're compatible. Her eyes flickered with faint amusement. Biologically, the compatibility index is 73%. 73. Remarkably high. Of course, she'd calculated it. And emotionally? I asked. She tilted her head slightly. That remains undetermined. Before I could respond, alarms erupted. The chamber lights flashed crimson. An emergency broadcast filled the room. Unidentified Varelian warships entering orbit. Shields raised. Seralith stiffened instantly. That is not my fleet. The display shifted to orbital footage. Sleek Varelian cruisers, but their insignias were altered. They oppose hybridization treaties, she said quietly. They consider interspecies unions contamination. I stared at her. They came because of you. Yes. And because of me? Her silence was answer enough. Earth's defense platforms activated, but against Varelian technology, they were outmatched. A voice crackled over the channel. Deep, commanding, and unmistakably hostile. Ambassador Seralith. You are ordered to return and submit to genetic purity review. Her expression hardened. I decline. You disgrace our lineage by selecting a primitive. My stomach twisted. Seralith stepped forward, eyes blazing. I select strength where I find it. The The transmission ended. Moments later, orbital explosions lit the sky. Rising conflict, the defense. The chamber doors burst open as human security forces scrambled. "You need to evacuate," a council officer shouted. Sarilith shook her head.
No.
"If I leave, they will bombard until compliance." I looked at her. "You can stop them?" "Perhaps." "Then let's do it." She studied me carefully. "You understand this conflict centers on you." I figured. "You could die." Story of my life lately. A faint flicker, almost a smile, touched her lips. She extended her hand. "Then stand beside me." We moved to the central control nexus overlooking the city skyline. Varelian warships hovered like blades against the atmosphere. Human defense systems fired desperately, but shields absorbed the impacts effortlessly. Sarilith interfaced with Earth's tactical network through her wrist console. "I will transmit a counter-harmonic disruptor," she said. "Your satellites must adjust frequency." I stared at the incoming data. The equations were complex, alien. But patterns emerged. "You're overcompensating on phase alignment," I said automatically. She glanced at me. "You perceive it? It's like resonance in atmospheric stabilizers. If you offset by 0.3, her eyes widened slightly. "You are correct. We worked in rapid synchronization. Human intuition. Alien precision. Together." The satellites shifted frequency. A ripple of distorted energy pulsed outward. The lead Varelian cruiser's shields flickered, then collapsed. Shockwaves rippled through their formation. "They will retreat," Sarilith said quietly. Moments later, the hostile fleet withdrew beyond lunar orbit. Silence fell across Earth. We had survived because we worked together, ending the choice. After the battle, the convocation reconvened in stunned disbelief. Human leaders now viewed Sarilith differently. Not as a manipulative envoy,
But as an ally.
the Varelian Council transmitted a formal inquiry. Sarilith stood before the assembly. "I will not retract my selection," she said clearly. Murmurs echoed across the chamber. The decision now rested with me. I had imagined marriage someday, but not like this. Not under galactic scrutiny. Not as a symbol of interspecies unity. Sarilith approached me privately once more. "You are under no obligation," she said. For the first time, uncertainty touched her voice. "I chose you for stability," she admitted. "But I did not anticipate attachment." The word felt fragile in her mouth. I met her gaze. "You could have picked anyone." "Yes." "But you picked me." "Yes." "Why?" Her answer came softly. "Because when you speak, you do not seek power. You seek solutions." No one had ever described me that way. I thought of my life before this. Quiet. Predictable. Safe. Then I thought of standing beside someone who saw potential in me beyond routine. "Marriage in my culture isn't just strategic," I said carefully. "It's partnership." "I understand. And partnership means choice." She nodded. "So here's mine," I said. I stepped forward. "I'll marry you." Gasps echoed faintly beyond the chamber doors. Her eyes widened, not in calculation, but in genuine surprise. "You are certain?" "No," I admitted honestly. "But I'm willing." Something in her posture relaxed, something ancient and guarded. "You will not regret it," she said. "I probably will at some point," I replied. "But that's part of it." A faint, unmistakable smile curved her lips. The ceremony was unlike anything Earth had witnessed. Human vows intertwined with Varelian resonance rituals. Light patterns shimmered across the sky as orbital arrays synchronized in symbolic unity. When she placed her hand over mine, I felt warmth, not alien. Not distant, but real. The human the alien woman wanted to marry. It sounded absurd, but as we stood together, watching Earth and distant Varelian worlds linked by shared transmission, I understood something profound. This wasn't about genetics, or politics, or even survival. It was about evolution, not of species, but of perspective. As our joined fleets patrolled peacefully above, Saralith leaned slightly toward me. In my culture, she said softly, marriage signifies synchronized futures. I smiled. Then let's synchronize. And for the first time in galactic history, a union born not of strategy, but of choice, reshaped the stars.